Come make me tell you about the things them way I want, sir. Back in the days when the dancer used to warm, sir. When Clinton Lindsay used to bust them, make them go on, sir. Whole heap of artists Clinton bring come up America. Some never know say Clinton Lindsay.
Hi, welcome to Now You Know with Clinton Lindsay. This is where I tell my stories of things that have happened behind the scenes that you may or may not know about. Chances are you don't know, so this is where I tell these stories. Before I tell today's story, I want to thank you for your subscriptions, for your comments, and for spreading the word about Now You Know. Today I'm going to take you back to, I would say, the spring of 1986. At that time I had a good relationship with the U.S. Embassy in Kingston. There was a particular counselor, a young lady that she'd been to the various functions, and at the time she knew all the artists them that were names in Jamaica. She would go to the Pegasus where they would have concerts and so on. So she was someone that was very friendly to me and to the culture and to the artists, because she would know them. This particular package I had included Uglyman. Yeah, Uglyman, the man with the computer voice. From what I understand, Ninja Man, prior to Ninja Man, was called Double Ugly. And from what I was told, it was Uglyman who inspired that name for Ninja Man. Because Ninja was saying that he's much uglier than Uglyman, so thus he called himself Ugly, Double Ugly. He changed that by the time I went for him, as I said in the previous bit about Ninja Man. When you get a chance, you could take a look at that. We went to the embassy this particular morning, and for some reason, Uglyman decided he was going to take his album. He had a brand new album on the Harry J label, and Computer. Yeah, I think it's called Computer. So he decided he was going to take his album with him, which was a good move. Usually you try carrying as much evidence as you can when you're being interviewed by these people. If you have an album, 45, articles in the papers, you would take that just in case. So anyhow, when we went in, and I believe the officer's name was Karen. That's the name that's coming to mind. And she was like, "Oh, Clinton, who do you have today?" So I ran off some names, and then I said, "And the Uglyman." And Karen said to me, "Clinton, that's not nice. That's not nice." And I'm like, what's not nice? What did I say? You're calling the artist Uglyman? I said, "Yeah, that's his name." She said, "That's his name? Uglyman?" And then I called Uglyman. I said, "Uglyman, come here." So I took his album and I put it under the window, and she took the album. "Uglyman, why would someone call himself Uglyman?" I'm like, "Uglyman, come here." I called Uglyman, and the Uglyman came right up to the window, and when Karen looked up and saw Uglyman, she was like, "Clinton, could you give me a minute?" She wanted to break out in laughter. So I'm not sure. So she took the album and she went back to her colleagues. She walked out of sight. I couldn't see her. You have these big windows with these bulletproof glass and all of that. So I couldn't see where she went. So I'm like, okay, 30 seconds, a minute, and she was still not back. So I started to peek and try to lean over to see where she was. And what I saw was she and about 4 of her colleagues gathered around the album, and they were like, talking, and the rest of guys them that she was talking to, they were looking if they could see this Uglyman. And I'm just looking there, and then she came back. "Clinton, could I have all the passports?" I said, "Sure, I have all the passports." She still wanted to break out in laughter when she saw this Uglyman, And I'm like, So she took all the passport and all those guys with their passports, maybe about 6, 7 of them with their passports. And she just gave me about, 7 blue tickets. Not even an interview. I don't remember she doing an interview. She was just blown away by the sight of Uglyman. It was good that he brought his album. He could prove he had evidence that he's really Uglyman. And they got their visas, and Uglyman came to New York, and he was very successful in his first tour, and got a lot of dates in New Jersey, Brooklyn, all over the place. He was very successful. So the bottom line is, it's very important if you're an upcoming artist or a new artist to choose a name that reflects your persona, your style, your character. Naming is very important. I always say that. And in the case of Uglyman, he couldn't have called himself any other name but Uglyman. And that's how it was. I know. Now you know. Uglyman crack up the officers at the U.S. Embassy in the spring of 1986. Until next time, you continue subscribing and spread the word and leave whatever comments you want to leave. I love hearing from you. Until then, you take care.
And Lindsay a promoter. Bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica. Like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Only for artists, no for them me can't remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out no for water. To reggae